Hello and welcome to yet another episode at You Are Human, a show attempting to decode human potential and possibilities by bringing you real stories, real heroes. I am so grateful to each one of you for tuning in. Today's episode is a very special one. The reason being, I've never had a nutritionist or a health expert before, but I have someone today. My today's guest is also a mental health professional. He has done his master's in healthcare management from Oxford University and is also the founder of Simply Wellness, a virtual clinic that is trying to address to physical health issues such as diabetes, PCOD, hypertension, and a lot more. He has this creative approach to wellness. He has this amalgamation of storytelling, creativity, and wellness, which I feel is so effective in connecting with the masses for the right reasons. He wants to consult to his clients, not because they come back to him again and again, but he wants to educate them and empower them so that they can become their own health experts. He has quite a few campaigns under his belt, such as Fitness for Youth, Be Your Own Nutrition Guru, Wellness Guru, and Be Your Own Nutritionist. In the month of August, he ran a campaign called Atmanirbhar August, where he connected 22 professionals and hundreds of youth from the age group of 15 to 25 to learn a new skill or to dive into the topics of their interest. He did a training of 900 hours, all for free. There is a lot more to this human that we will find out in this episode. Please welcome Dr. Umesh Wadhavani. Hi, Dr. Umesh. How are you doing today?
Wow. Whew. Was it about me? It's so surreal, honestly. But thank you so much, Jagruti. Oh my days. You're so warm. I love that introduction. And it just gave me a highlight of what my last few years were like. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to have a chat with you.
Yeah, me too. I am so thrilled to be doing this. As I said, this is the first time I have a nutritionist. I've had like fitness experts before, but a nutritionist and somebody who is, as I said, that you're not wanting to do this because you want the clients to come back to you again and again, because that becomes a business objective. Whereas you are trying to do something that is more, in my opinion, very community driven, very compassionate. Is that your objective? Am I aligned with your objective?
I think yes, because it goes back to a very basic thing as well, Jagruti. Okay? I know it's I'm literally diving into it, but I compare our bodies with literally machines. And it's very controversial. A lot of people would say that, okay, no, it's very inhuman approach to it. But it's basic. Let's say if you buy a washing machine, right?
Right.
And you will get that user guideline with it.
Right.
Or even if you don't dive into that user guideline, you would know, okay, these are the buttons that I need to use to dry the clothes, or it's a quick wash, or if something goes wrong, everything is mentioned in that. But it doesn't happen with us human beings. When we are born, we are not given a user guideline, which doctors are supposed to give. But we are never given that user guideline. And I feel nutrition, health, basic first aid, and all these things are sort of user guidelines for our body. Which we all should know regardless of you have a problem or not. You should just know. And most of the lifestyle conditions that we have, they are happening because we don't know how to operate our machines.
Right.
So I can't be charging you. I've sold you a washing machine. I can't be charging you every time when you want to learn something about the washing machine, right? I can just teach you, Baba, use the washing machine like this, and then you are on your own.
Right.
That's the simple thing that's the thought process behind it, actually. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I wish a lot more people, and I hope doctors are listening to this and they do come up with a system that actually tells a parent, okay, listen, this is how your baby is, and this is what you're supposed to do with this human being. Because I know I'm diverting from the topic, but because you brought up this beautiful example, and it's such a good correlation, I feel people have children, but then we don't know what to do with kids, right? I mean, we ourselves don't know what to do with our bodies, leave apart like what we'll do to a new human being. So anyways, that's a completely different conversation. We need to have another podcast for it to talk about parenting and knowing like how to raise a child, but that's a completely different topic. Let me dive into my first question. So this pandemic, there's this word called pandemic baby. There are a lot of people who had kids, but I feel like this pandemic also created a lot more babies in terms of business, in terms of ideas, and in terms of coming up with something different than what you were doing. And that's our baby too, right? Like this podcast is a pandemic baby, I can say, because that's how I started it during the lockdown. I was like, kuch nahi hai karne ke liye, what do I do? Let me, start something different and do something for the society, for myself. So that's how the podcast came into play. Now, I want to know that your Simply Wellness, the platform, is it also pandemic baby?
Yes, indeed it is. 100%. And the whole reason behind starting that was because, by the way, it's a free clinic, huh? Like actually, anyone can come and talk to me for 15 minutes about their health issues. So the reason why I started this was because a lot of people started getting very interested into health because of the pandemic. है ना? तो there is this Hindi कहावत के आग लगती है तो हम कुआं खोदने जाते हैं.
Yeah.
So that's what exactly happened. No one was bothered about vitamin C or immunity or health or anything. I have this sketch in my mind which I want to execute, that vitamin C and vitamin D, they both are human beings. They are sitting in an office just playing PUBG on their phone pre-pandemic. But as soon as the pandemic started, they have not rested. They are like 24/7 working because each and everyone is on their case. Okay. So people started talking more about health, and they want to work, they want to fix their nutrition, because now they know immunity is related to nutrition, and their health is related to nutrition. And I was like, okay, perhaps I can't give my all services for free. I can't give them diet plans and stuff, but how about I can start the conversation? How about I give them opportunity so that they can come and talk to me, at least tell me their problems, and I tell them, okay, ye tumhari diet mein galat hai. These are the things that if you start improving, you will start seeing changes. Because there are, Jagruti, I believe that there are 3 stages when it comes to bringing a change, right? So one is the awareness part, second is contemplation, and third is action. And whenever it comes to lifestyle change, India still is in awareness stage. People don't even know whether lifestyle change is important or not. Unko, people don't even know कि खाना हम क्यों खाते हैं. So whenever I conduct a workshop and I ask people why do we eat food, the first answer is कि भूख लगती है इसलिए. है ना? So I was like, okay, let's do the awareness part, and then the contemplation, the action part will come. So I'm trying to help the awareness part with this clinic. That, okay, you come down, talk to me, I'll give you some knowledge around, okay, this is the reason why you're doing this, you fix this, and aage ja sakta hai, and there is a potential that you can get off your medicines if you work on your health. So yeah, it is a pandemic baby, and it's very pyara baby. I adore it.
God bless you with it. And बोलते ना कि बच्चे सबको प्यारे लगते हैं, to the parents, the baby is always wonderful. So how my podcast is my favorite, I'm sure your clinic is your favorite. Because you talked about this thing that khana kab khana chahiye, when are you supposed to eat? When you feel hungry, or when you feel there is a need for you to eat?
I think they both are interconnected. So I always tell my clients, eat when you feel hungry, but eat what is right. Drink when you feel thirsty, and drink water. And if you understand these 2 sentences, you won't have any lifestyle issues.
Right.
Okay, literally, because your hunger and your thirst are your body's signals for you that I need nutrient and I need hydration. So whenever you feel hungry, you don't eat nutrients, you eat junk. Right. That's where the problem starts. That's why I'm like, when you feel hungry, eat right. And whenever you feel thirsty, if you drink tea or coffee or alcohol or soda or Red Bulls and stuff, your thirst is not being subsided. You need water at that time. So give your body what your body needs whenever you get that signal. So eat whenever you are hungry, drink whenever you are thirsty. As simple as that. That's
So
your body's call.
So when people have this, na ki 1 baje khana to khana hai, like, they have a timetable, which I feel is fascinating. But do you think that's the right way to go about it? Ki nahi, 10 baje, if 10 o'clock I have to have, means I have to have. Do you think that's the right way to live? Or you should just eat and drink when your body gives you that signal?
Yeah, but they both are interconnected as well. So schedule and your callings, they both are interconnected as well. So you would notice that if you are consuming your dinner at 9 o'clock in the evening, your body will start feeling hungry around 8:30, 8:45 every evening, because it anticipates. Your body is the most adaptive machine on this planet. So 8:30, 8:45, so you will start feeling that thingy in your stomach ke khana aane wala hai, and that anticipation thing. So then it becomes a clock now.
Right.
Then it becomes a clock. But there is this other group of people who just consume food for the sake of it. कि सुबह है ब्रेकफास्ट का ट्रेंड है तो खा के ही घर से निकलना है, सो आई विल हैव अ ब्रेकफास्ट, और दोपहर 2 बजे है लंच खाना है तो खाना है. They don't even listen to their hunger. They are force feeding sometimes. And exactly opposite is the species जो सिर्फ इंडिया में पाई जाती है. It's typical Indian housewives जो completely hunger signals को इग्नोर करती है. घर के मर्द सब आएंगे घर, वो खाना खाएंगे, मेरे बच्चों को खिलाऊंगी, काम वाली को खिलाऊंगी, कुत्ते कुतिया को खिलाऊं, उसके बाद आई विल. सो सब उनकी भूख गई तेल लेने. इट्स जस्ट एग्जैक्टली द ऑपोजिट. सो दे आर जस्ट इग्नोरिंग एंड अदर पीपल आर लाइक कि हाँ अभी खाना है तो खा लिया. सो बट इट ऑल कम्स बैक टू द सेम थिंग. इफ यू फील हंग्री, eat, but eat right.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
No, of course. Women, men, children, if you're watching this, please eat when you feel like eating. Don't think about your partner first. Think about yourself first. Yeah, that's important. So, Dr.
We will
Umesh,
talk about that as well. Huh?
Yeah.
Jagruti, please talk to me about self-love kahin pe bhi. Because this point connects to self-love somewhere. But yeah.
Self-love, I think, is such an interesting topic. And even what we consume, what we eat, that's a form of consumption. What we're thinking, right? What content we are watching in terms of consumption. Now, because you brought this topic of self-love, I'll just give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, I watched a show that had a lot of violence in it. बहुत ज़्यादा violence था उसमें. And I binge watched the entire season. मैंने पूरा binge watch किया. It's, like it was something that I wanted to watch. For the next 3 days, I noticed that I'm getting triggered by the slightest of things. I was getting triggered. If my mom is saying something, or at work, if a client is saying something, I'm shot up, and I'm angry. And even when I'm sleeping, I'm not at peace. And then I realized that, it's not that time of the month that I have to feel, my emotions going haywire. Why am I getting agitated? What is the issue? Because that does happen to me. And I was like, it is because I have been watching this content, which was so aggressive, so violent, that it impacted me. So I drew a connection that what I consumed visually, content-wise, and now I've become very particular. Like even on Instagram, I follow people, like we are friends, but I will not follow their content because their content is something. So this is a conscious decision that I'm taking. Now, would you say this also falls under self-love? Because this for me is self-love. Of course, food is the key because I eat a lot of junk and I need to work on that. However, this is something that I've started in terms of what I consume visually and in terms of content.
110%. It is, and it does come under self-love. I'm not sure if you know of this writer, Mark Manson. Suna hai? The guy who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yes, I've read that book. Yeah.
What do you think of that book?
Amazing. I loved it.
Right?
Yeah.
So I love the writer as well. Like he has been writing blogs for so long, and I don't like reading in general, but I like his writing style. So I've read a lot of his blogs, and he has this whole article about attention diet, okay, where he talks about this thing that, okay, whatever information you are consuming, that information is affecting your mindset. It is affecting your behavior. So if you want to come out of that thingy, you have to consume information which is healthy. And that's what you spoke about. So if any page or any friend uska content is creating negativity in your brain, that is not a good diet for you. You are giving fucks in a wrong direction. You should be giving it in the right direction. And that's how his language is of writing, right? So that's how he explains everything. But that is very true. Yes, what data, what information you are consuming, even if it is your friend, just unfollow or mute them, because it affects. It does affect you. Yeah. But the point that I wanted to make about self-love or self-care is a lot of mothers, or a lot of people who think about others before themselves. They think, okay, I'm a giver and I want to do good for everyone else. Okay. But ऐसा अच्छा ही कौन से काम का which is eventually harming your health. And then you won't be able to do it for a longer duration. And then if you fall ill, if you don't look after yourself, those very people जिनके लिए तुम्हें अच्छा करना था, they will have to suffer. Yeah. So वो बोलते हैं ना, like there's this very Sindhi, very popular Sindhi saying, I can't recall it, but penjo gar data jo dar, something like
yes, my mom keeps saying
like it. It's like यहाँ से सब शुरू होगा, and then it will just go out. But यहाँ पे सब, if it is ऊपर नीचे, then you are not going to, even जो तुम्हारा purpose है to help others, to do good for others, you are not doing it 100%. So I think is that just little switch, right? लोगों के दिमाग में वो switch दब जाए ना, it just can change a lot of lives in that way.
And I think it's even understanding this phrase that you said, understanding it correctly. The interpretation of it is, for a mother or a housewife, it is, my house is God's house or God's, place. They think it as my home, my family. Whereas now what you're pointing it out is my ghar, my home is my body, like where I reside. So that is the first thing. And that's the switch I think needs to come, because the understanding of the meaning behind this phrase. And thank you so much. That was so beautiful, and you explained it like so well, which I feel if everybody understands, we will prioritize ourselves first. And I think there's nothing to feel like, oh, am I being selfish? It's okay to be selfish, because this is, there's white lies and, black lies. So I feel this is the white selfishness. It's fine to be selfish for yourself.
But I wouldn't even put it, Jagruti. Like I get this a lot, because whenever I speak with housewives, na, to unko aisa lagta hai ki if I'm doing something for myself first, I'm being selfish. I was like, no, there's a difference between being selfish and self-loving. Yeah. Selfish is there is this one brownie, okay, जो मेरे और तेरे दोनों के लिए आया होगा, and I am consuming that whole brownie on my own. That is being selfish. ठीक है? तुम्हें brownie खाना नहीं है, मैं खुद के लिए brownie लेके खा रहा हूँ. That's self-love. Yeah. Self-love is doing something for yourself without harming anyone else.
Right.
Selfishness is you do something for yourself by chinifying something from someone or harming someone. Right. You're not doing that. If you are consuming a meal on time before your sasur or before your husband, you are not taking away a meal from them. Yeah. You're just having it for yourself. So you have to see that difference. You don't have to feel guilty about it. It's okay. Do you see that? So it's not even selfishness.
Of course. So, yeah. Of course. And it is just so relatable, because I know for the fact women in India who are my age, probably younger than me, and still they have the system in the house that they cannot eat before the in-laws, the elders, the husband. So, this is something that is going on, and educated families, they still follow this. So it is really sad. And I'm really grateful that you're raising this kind of an awareness, and you're trying to bring about a conscious change and to differentiate, because I also use the term selfish. But thank you so much for teaching me that I have to replace, the right word is self-love. And that's the right choice of words. So thank you so much. uh, Doctor, there's something, they say that what you consume, again, is how you become. So there is a deep connection between body and mind, right? So today, because we talked about self-love, I want to dive into the topic of mental health issues. If we see a lot of depression, anxiety in children these days, what do children do? Like, I was in the States for 2 months, just this year. And over there, I saw kids, they're consuming colas, pizza, donuts. That is their dietary food. On an average, this is what they're consuming. There's anxiety, there's depression. With youth, couples, what you're eating, you're dining out, there's no problem in dining out. But in terms of where you're getting your nutrition from, तो वो तो कुछ logic ही नहीं है. Like, you don't know what you're supposed to consume. So that's the debate. However, I feel like the diseases that people are getting, it all starts from your gut, right? Your gut is responsible for how you think, how you behave. And I feel today a lot of mental health issues probably are the reason of what we consume. I need your expert take on this. What do you think?
Well, there is this really straight connection, and once you will understand that connection, now you will be like, oh wow, it was a light bulb moment for me, because if I can just give you thoda sa context.
Ji.
So when I finished my medicine in India, I never wanted to practice medicine. I never wanted to be a doctor in the first place, right? Then my parents were like, shadi, shadi, shadi. I was like, I want to go higher education. I just left, and I did my master's, and the first job that I landed was with this psychotherapy unit. Okay. So I started managing the psychotherapy unit, and that's where I found my interest in mental health. And then I started speaking with all the clinicians. I used to manage 12 of them. So jab bhi break hai, so I'm just chatting up with them and learning more about it. And that's where I found this connection. Okay. Now, there's this hormone called serotonin. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, serotonin is the hormone that manages your mental well-being. So if you are in a good mood, to sustain that good mood before something else messes up with your head, that sustainability is because of the serotonin hormone. When you are suffering from, or when someone is suffering from depression, their clinical levels of serotonin goes down. You can see that on the reports. Okay.
Right.
So that's one of the parameters of diagnosing depression as well. So your serotonin levels are down. So even if the things are going right in your life, because the hormone which is responsible for your mental well-being, it's going down, right? That is the reason why you are feeling messed up. So that's serotonin. Can you randomly guess where that serotonin is produced in your body?
Is it our stomach?
It's somewhere near. It's in your gut.
In our gut, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So whenever I ask this question in a workshop, the people logically connect it with brain, which is absolutely right correction. That okay, yeah, it has to do with mental health. It has to be releasing from your brain. But no, 95% of your serotonin releases from your gut. Now, that's where the whole exciting part comes in. For me, at least, I know it's very messed up, but it's really fascinating for me, because there's a whole vicious cycle. Now, your gut lining, jahan se serotonin release hota hai, it's manned by billions and billions of bacteria. Okay, you don't have to be scared about it, because those bacteria are needed.
Okay.
There was a recent research which says we have more bacterial cells in our body than the human cells. So we are more bacteria than a human. And it's just the number, statistics. Okay. Those bacteria should be in a ratio. So we need 15% of bad bacteria and 85% of good bacteria. And that creates your gut flora. So for your gut to work healthy, do the digestion properly and release serotonin properly, it has to have that ratio. That's what we call gut flora balance. Now, these are living organisms, right? Bad and good.
Hmm.
They survive on food. These survive on food as well. Now, these survive on refined sugar. So colas and chocolates and ice creams and mithais and sweets and everything. And these survive on prebiotics, which is your fibrous foods, oats, and all that. So there is a list. Okay. Now, if you are someone who is consuming a lot of this, what you are doing is you are feeding the bad bacteria and growing them. So now, ये 15 से बढ़ के ऊपर चला गया and this is relatively going down. So that's where creates the gut flora imbalance.
Right.
Interestingly.
Interesting.
Now your intestines are not going to release serotonin properly because your gut is not functioning right. Now you are feeling mentally shit. Whenever you feel mentally shit, a lot of us do binge eating. That's the easiest resource to make yourself feel good, because sugary food also releases dopamine kick in your brain, which makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It's very addictive behavior, right? Now you consume sugar. Okay. What are you going to feed? Bad bacteria?
Yes.
Because you are not going to reach out to salad when you are binge eating. Right?
No, never.
It's all. So वापस से you're going to feed bad bacteria. They are going to grow. Serotonin levels go down again. You feel messed up. You consume sugar. Bacteria, serotonin level down.
It's a cycle. Yeah, I see that. I see the pattern.
So whenever this question comes up, if someone understands this connection now, it's really helpful. Like I have 2014 से लेके अभी तक I've been working as a exclusive nutritionist and fitness trainer for mental health clients. So 2019 तक when I was in the UK, and I'm still associated with those clinics, right? Therapy तो चल रहा है साथ में, but as soon as I start fixing their nutrition, their feeling of betterment is just like वो spike होता है, because you are resetting the chemical balance in your body. So yeah, that it just excites me. Just talking about it. It's just so fascinating.
It is, and it is so fascinating for me to just watch you. You know, you're so excited when you're talking. I absolutely love that energy of yours. You know, when you were narrating it, I could see that sparkle in your eyes and your body language change, and that was incredible. And thank you so much for sharing. You know, I'm sure next time I am emotionally eating or stress eating, I will ensure that I go for the healthy food, because I think it's a way to deal with it as well, you know, to change your mood. Like, I know for the fact that if I go for a run, if I am angry or something, it automatically, you know, changes my mood. And even it is with food. But, you know, the food industry, it is such a sad thing that because it's profit driven, right? So they are trying to push us to products which are unhealthy, because the profit margin is more. You know, there was a study, because we talked about statistics and numbers. On Facebook, you have nearly 5 million junk products advertised and majorly targeted for children. So how can one differentiate between the good food and the bad food? Because we have the labeling right behind. Everybody has to have that label. And when it says, you know, like you get these chips in a packet where it says 100% vegetable chips, crisps, but is it even healthy? That's number one. Like, how can we differentiate, you know, between the good food and the bad food? I would want to know for myself, because I pick the wrong foods a lot of times.
Sure. Okay. So a bigger umbrella is good food is something that your body needs, and bad food is something that your body doesn't. It's as simple as that. And I always I don't think we will be able to get to the roots of it. But again, solution would be creating awareness. Awareness about what? Awareness about this thing which I'm about to explain. We have to teach kids that food is not something for pleasure. Like, it is one of the functions. Could be that, okay, you eat something and you feel good. Food is it's literally fuel for your machine. It's literally fuel for your machine. So for any meal to be healthy, it should have all the component that your body needs. It's as simple as, so I have a thing for cars, and I have a thing for movies, and I have a thing for nutrition. So I always mix and match them. Okay, so for a car to run fine, it needs 6 things, right? Physical urja purja, the steering and the engine and the body and the brakes and tires and everything. Then the engine would need oiling so that the lubrication is right and it functions fine. Then it would need petrol, diesel, electric, depending upon what fuel it's running on. Then it needs nuts and bolts to keep the car together, the tiny ones. And lastly, your Gadi would need coolant so that the engine doesn't get overheated.
Yeah.
Simple. Your body needs 6 things too. Compare your body with 6 things, or your car. Okay. Your body's physical urja purja, your Ghane baal, your sundar twacha, and your muscles and organs and everything. Everything is made from proteins that you eat. It's the structural unit. It's the urja purja unit. So protein khana zaruri hai. Second, the lubrication part. It's the oils that we consume. Okay. So we need oil. Then the fuel is carbohydrates. So petrol, diesel, or whatever. It's your carbohydrate. So your rice, roti, upma, idli, dosa, koki, chawar, everything comes under your carbohydrates. Then your vitamins and minerals, which come from fruits and vegetables. Okay. Nuts and bolts are your fruits and vegetables.
Yes, yes.
And your body's coolant is your water. Okay. So a meal, for it to be healthy, it has to have all these things. In an isolated meal, so let's say you're saying about bag of chips. Now, if that bag of chips is just chips, it's never a healthy option because it's only one component. Wo bhi processed. Right? So chicken, good source of protein. Ghee, amazing source of fat. But if I was to put breadcrumbs or KFC chicken, deep fry, not healthy. Even if I'm using ghee to make that Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's not. It's the food and what you do with it that is going to decide whether that particular food is healthy or not. But in a nutshell, your each meal has to have all these 6 things for the very obvious reasons that we just discussed. Sabka koi na koi role hai. And your bodies are not Khataras, your bodies are Ferraris, your bodies are Lamborghinis. Okay. So if you had a truck, if you had a tractor or something, you can perhaps put kerosene in it and to run it. Okay, kerosene pe gaadi chalega. The only problem will be you will hear some noises.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
someone has for sure.
Yeah, no. So you have seen those trucks in India, right? जहाँ पे काले धुएं निकल रहे पीछे से, खड़ आवाज आ रहा है, right? They are running on kerosene.
Right.
Okay? But you won't do the same thing with your Ferrari or Lamborghini, right? So your bodies are your Lamborghinis or Ferraris. If you put kerosene in it, which is your chips and junk and everything, you will have black fumes coming out from your pacha. You will have your noises coming out from your body, and that is going to happen. So treat your bodies like basically Ferraris, not Khatara. That's in a nutshell.
It was very interesting. दिमाग में बैठ गई बात, and in a very funny way as well, in a very entertaining way. As I said, you are this amalgamation of creativity and wellness. So it's bizarre. I absolutely love the way you explain such difficult concepts so easily in such a fun way. There was this meme video that you made recently that I watched. You ruined the song for me, and I'm not going to forgive you for it ever. But I think
it Agar Tum Saath Ho?
Yes. So you know it. Now that song, so there are certain movies that have certain emotions, and you relate to it. Although you've not gone through the same journey, but you just feel like you have your own La La Land, and you're like, oh, if I have a person and things go down the lane, so this is the song that I'm going to sing. So this is in my La La Land. That's the song. Now you've ruined it, but I think it was required to ruin. So I absolutely loved it. How you're trying to communicate that, how if you're chasing a flat tummy and if, you want it, but if you're not on the right track of your nutrition, it's going to go away, so you can't hold it. So that was such a creative way. So I loved it. And I wanted to tell you that you ruined the
Thank
song
you.
for me, but I love the idea of it. It was brilliant.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. You know what happened after posting that meme? Um, a lot of people replied to my story saying that we are not going to watch this because you are going to ruin it. So no, like a lot of people didn't even watch it because this song is such a cult phenomenon.
Yes.
Like of our generation, this song
Right.
is huge.
It's an
I was so
emotion.
skeptical. Yeah, it is. It is. I was so skeptical about sharing that, and for all the right reasons because I love that song. I'm a very emotional person by the way, and I legit cry when I listen to this song. I'm so connected with this song. Yeah. So,
Now I'm going to laugh
but
at it.
I know I've received a few messages saying कि अब अगर तुम साथ हो का vibe वो नहीं है. We think about flat tummy and sugar.
No, absolutely. So yeah, this episode is all about getting cranked. That's what is
Yes.
happening. You know, there was this American holistic health practitioner. Her name is Anne Wigmore. She's no more. She has this phrase that she said that the food you eat can be the safest form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Now, we are a generation, or even if when you look at our parents, there's so much dependency on medicines. I want to know, because this is a very important question to me, and I'm sure to a lot of listeners. Is there a possibility just with nutrition and the way you eat, because there's a concept of chew your food, they say like, don't eat your food, but drink your food. And eat your water, like whatever liquids you're having, you need to eat it. Like you have to chew on your water, and you're supposed to like chew on your food, turn it into a liquid form, and then swallow it. So with that concept, do you think it is possible just based on nutrition and how we consume food, how we focus on our overall lifestyle, that there can be life without medicines, even with people who have diabetes or blood pressure? Can they just based on nutrition, or even cancer for that matter? I'm not sure if you have your expertise even in that disease, but do you think all of this we can battle just based on nutrition?
Sure. So इसके लिए we have to understand there are few different types of health issues. Okay. One is very generic. When I say generic, what I mean is that it's like malaria, typhoid, or COVID for that matter. It's infectious diseases. So you got infected by a virus or a bacteria or a fungi, and that's why you are getting all these problems.
Yeah.
So for that treatment, all you gotta do is if you have malaria, you will take anti-malarial thingies. And then if you have fever, you take crocin or something. If you have diarrhea, you take something. It's all symptomatic thing, right?
Right.
These are the conditions. Then the second group of conditions is your genetic conditions.
Yeah.
Right. So your parents had something, you got it from them. Okay? And then third type is the acquired conditions, which are the lifestyle conditions. Now, and that would include your cancer, that would include your diabetes, that would include your PCOD, that would include your thyroid problems, that would include your obesity, or someone remaining underweight. Okay, all these things are into the lifestyle conditions. Now, it's not like you got infected by salmonella and you started gaining weight. And it hasn't happened overnight. So, जो हमने कार का example लिया, you bought a Ferrari and you have been running it on kerosene for so long that now the engine is messed up. You have got this Lamborghini, your body can only process only up to 10% of your calories from sugar on daily basis. But if you have been consuming like 80-90% of your calories from sugars on daily basis, your body is like, I can't, this is overload for me, I can't process it anymore. And that's where you suffer from diabetes.
Absolutely.
So it's not a one occasion thing, you got infected and you got diabetes. It is I again, this is a punching down joke, but I say it out with all the right intentions, that no one has gotten overweight or underweight overnight. Like, it's not like you slept one night as Kareena Kapoor and you woke up as Adnan Sam. It has never happened. It has never. It's always you were a skinny person or a relatively underweight person, or whatever weight, because weight is such a bizarre thing, and we can talk about that as well, because it's a very important point. But it is an over a period of time. And
Right.
why it has happened?
Hmm.
The lifestyle. So this whole 15 years of, for 10 months or 2 years of lifestyle is your infection.
Hmm.
Okay. Just think of it as an infection. It's a COVID infection, for example, or bacterial infection. So for this bacterial infection of 10, 15 years, if you want to cure it, you have to have antibacterial something. And that antibacterial is, anti is opposite, right? So
Right.
whatever you have done, you have to do something opposite. Right? So if your diet was messed up here, which has led you to do to have this condition, you have to go anti to fix it.
Right.
Am I making sense?
Yes, you are.
So that is the reason why Indians specifically are really finding it difficult to follow a diet, because they have a mentality that health, obesity is a clinical condition, and हमारी बाकी जो भी clinical condition थी वो एक एक दवाई से चली गई. नहीं, मेरे को पेट में दुख रहा था, मैंने दवाई ले ली, चला गया. मेरे को डायबिटीज था तो डॉक्टर ने मेरे को दवाई दे दी और मैं कभी शुगर खा सकता हूँ. Right? Weight loss is something जिसके लिए there is no dawai. It's not going to happen, because it has happened because of long duration. It is going to go after a long duration.
Right.
But yes, even cancer. What is cancer? Cancer is your degenerated cells are working against you. So your cells are killing your cells. But why those cells have to do that? It is again the nutrition part. You are creating oxidative stress in your body, which is making those cells kill each other. So let's say smoking accelerates that process. You can't be like, मैं smoking भी करता रहूंगा और chemotherapy लूंगा और मेरा cancer चला जाएगा. It can't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope I answered your question, but yes, nutrition is medicine, food is medicine, if you use it right. Because वापस से same गाड़ी और washing machine का example, your machine is supposed to be run with certain fuels. If you have been adding wrong fuels to your machine, that's where the whole problem is started.
That's where the problem is, yeah.
And if you want to solve that, you have to start adding right fuels and stop adding the wrong ones.
Makes so much sense. So much sense. Absolutely. Because we get so consumed by the idea of taking medicines. And I think our generation is such that our dependency on quick fixes is so much that we don't want to invest time into understanding कि ये क्यों हुआ. As you said, weight loss, there is no pill for weight loss. And even when people advertising these teas and everything, it's such a scam. It doesn't happen. It is something that you have to work to it. Sorry?
Biggest industry.
Yes. And it is so unfortunate, that it is an experiment done, like how you have pigs in a lab. I think we as human beings in this world are like, the people are conducting experiments on us, to just make their financial gains. But anyways, that's again another vast topic. I've taken so much of your time, and this has been amazing. And I know we can just go on and on. I think our podcast has to be not for 1 hour, but for probably 10 hours. This is what we need. And I'm definitely sure we will do a part 2 with you, because there is still so much more that we need to talk about. But I need to highlight this one thing that Dr. Umesh, he doesn't, like you just don't look at, okay, weight loss karna hai, so this is the plan. You are trying to promote wellness and nutrition to the entire family. You're thinking about kids, you're thinking about the adults, you're thinking about the mothers, the wives, you're thinking about the elder people. So I want to personally highlight that this is an amazing thing that you're doing. And this is something that I have not seen so far. And that's why I approached you that, let's do the podcast, because that really got my attention and won my heart, that you are thinking about an inclusive community. You're thinking about a home together, because if the entire home is fit, That's how the home is going to grow. Because even if one person goes through any physical ailment, the entire household is disturbed. So thank you so much for doing that. And I have a set of questions that probably if you could answer in a word or a sentence, or if you think it requires a deeper explanation, please go ahead. There is no restriction. But I have a few questions which I'm just going to ask you back to back. Is that okay? Thank you so much. Okay, so are you ready?
Yes, I am. Let's go.
I want to know, is breakfast the most important meal of the day?
No, all of your meals are most important meals of your day.
So do you think having breakfast first thing in the morning, like do you promote that, yes, once you wake up you are supposed to eat something, or no, it's not necessary?
You check in with your body. If you are feeling hungry, have it. Otherwise you can have it whenever you feel hungry.
Check in with your body. Yes, that's important. I think I want to take that away. Okay, well, there are so many diets that are present today. Keto, intermittent fasting, eat every 2 hours. And there's a war, like people would be like, oh, I'm doing intermittent, oh, I'm doing keto. And there's so much that is going on. And it blows my mind. Sometimes I was like, ye kya hai yaar? Ye kya chal raha hai? So is there a specific diet that you recommend? That is one. And number two, do you think a diet can be applied to everybody, or to each person there has to be a different form of diet based on their body types?
See, first part of your answer is the best diet is whatever works for you. And when I say works, I'm not talking about the result oriented. Works ka matlab hai, it should fit in with your daily routine, your work, your culture, your household, whether you are Sindhi, Marathi, Gujarati, Rajasthani, it should fit in your family, it should fit in with your finances and everything. Because whenever we talk about individualized diets, people think it's age, sex, height, weight, blood profile and all that shit. No,
right.
It's not. That is a human criteria, and wahan pe facts lagenge ki your body will need carbs, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals and water. That is common for all the human beings. But what is making us individual is all the lists that I discussed. And more so in India, because each state, each region, each district, each tehsil will have a different culture altogether. So if it is not fitting in your routine, it's not for you. So the best diet is whatever is convenient for you, which incorporates all the components. That's the best diet. Then if you can do it keto, marzi, 2 hours, marzi, intermittent fasting, marzi. But you should be okay with that. It shouldn't add a layer of stress to your life. Your shit, I'm doing this diet.
Right. So there's no fight.
I think that answer.
There's no fight. It's all understanding. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. I think I needed to hear that. So thank you. Now, because you are from a Indian family background, so our Indian households are filled with carbohydrates, dal, chawal, chapati. We have all of it. Now that you're on this journey, what is it that you have stopped or changed in your home after you have had this understanding?
I have started adding proteins for sure. So carbohydrates is something that again, मैंने पहले बोला ना कि it's individual's choice. My role is to create awareness. I can't force anyone to do anything for that matter. So my whole family now knows that these are the components that we need, and this is what we should be consuming. Okay, they are aware. That awareness is there. That conversation is there in my house.
Right.
They hafte mein 2 baar they deviate from it. They want to have their puris and pakoras and dal pakwan and whatever. But on most days, all of our meals are balanced. We are cooking more paneer. We are cooking more chana, chole, rajma, anda. Anda to like we get 5 trays a week, and everyone is so. That is a big change.
Right.
When you I hear my bhabhi and my mom talking about these things. Ke protein mein cha khain do. This is the so like let's say ke okay wangan fulko khayano, right? So then one of them will be like ke protein mein to kuch khane ko puna mein cha khainda se. Pehle this was never a conversation.
Right.
Never a and now it is happening. So that's the change.
Okay. That's amazing. Okay. So what are the top myths related to nutrition, according to you, in the common public? Like what are the top myths?
भूखा रहने से weight loss होगा. वेट वार्म वाटर, गर्म पानी पीने से वेट लॉस होगा. हनी एंड लेमन से वेट लॉस होगा. And fruits are really healthy for you.
Fruits are not healthy for you. Is that a myth? Again, yeah, you talked about the machine. You talked about the machine and how we need to have it in the right components. Yes.
In the right components. But I'll just tell a fact, okay? And people can debate with me on this, like if they want to, on the comment section. Fruits are not essential. They are amazing. Don't get me wrong. We consume fruits for fibers, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. But fruits are loaded with a sugar called fructose. Okay. Fiber, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, we can get them from other things.
Right.
Fructose, nulla. Your body has zero functions for fructose. So, but in fact, it harms your body a lot. It is managed by your body's detox organ, which is your liver. So, liver ko main tihar jail bulata hu, because it deals with all the toxins. All the criminals are dealt by your liver. It detoxes, right? Fructose is dealt with by liver. Your body has zero functions. ये सारी चीजें तुम्हें कहीं और से भी मिल सकती है. So why are you adding this in your diet? But they taste amazing, amazing smoothies, but their desserts, but they're all that thing. So I'm all in for that. But I'm just saying, your body doesn't need it. It's not essential. You can live your life without fruits, whatever. तुम्हें कुछ नहीं होगा. That's what I'm trying to say. But as long as you are consuming all these things from other things, you can't be like, मैं fruits भी नहीं खाऊंगी and I'm not consuming anything. Okay. The problem happens when it comes to fruits is because fructose is sweet and it has the same effect as sugar on your body. It can get addictive. So हम healthy के चक्कर में now we end up consuming a lot of it. ठीक है. Liver is very tiny. It's dealing with a lot of other shit as well. If you give fruit overload on liver, you can have non-fatty alcoholic liver. जो दारू पीने वालों को होता है, आपको हो सकता है even when you're not drinking alcohol. So that is the reason. So there are so many disadvantages attached to it. People hate me for it. I love fruits, but I know how to utilize it, so I consume it.
आज पता नहीं मैं क्या खाऊंगी. I really don't know what am I going to eat, but I think I have to talk to you later after this podcast to understand what should I eat. Sure. But however, that's my concern, and I'm sure a lot more people would reach out to you to know what should they eat. There's this myth जो मुझे ऐसा लगता है that it's not a myth, it is the reality. Whenever you go to a shopping mall or a grocery store, the organic food aisle is the most expensive aisle. So do you think healthy food is always expensive, or can it be affordable? Because there is this mindset, right? Because when I went to America, again talking about America, because the food industry over there is crazy, and the way people consume the kind of food is again so crazy. A Taco Bell, you will get a taco which has no nutritional value, nothing, below $1. Okay. And similarly, pizza, you'll get in $1 pizza slice. However, if you want to have a juice, vegetable juice, or you want to buy kale, or you want to buy vegetables just in general, they are overpriced. So, the pick for a lot of families or individuals who are trying to make a living, they think, I just have to fill my stomach. No, I'm hungry. So I just have to fill my stomach. So let me just get a Taco Bell. So do you think eating healthy or healthy food diet is possible and is affordable and it is not very expensive?
I'll answer the first part, Pele. So the point where you're saying that, okay, relatively unhealthy things are very cheap and the produce or juice and everything is expensive. It is, again, it's as simple. It's capitalism, business, supply and demand thing. If more people were buying healthy shit, they will produce more of that. Supply zyada hoga and eventually cheap hoga.
Right.
It's a catch-22, right? But abhi ho kya raha hai? Because of that very reason, economy, paisa nahi hai, sasta mil raha hai, you buy it. Demand wahan pe zyada hai, so they are producing it more. Mass production mein wo sasta padta hai, that's why they are selling it for cheap. Okay? But you don't have to go on organic and inorganic wala thing, because when people choose organic, health is only one small element. They are going for the fair trade, environment ke liye kitna hai, kya
Right,
nahi, and all
right,
that. All those
right,
factors come in, right?
right.
So to produce an organic thing, it is costly for people to do it that. But if you are worrying that okay, organic is very expensive, inorganic is relatively cheap, but then again, organic is healthy compared to inorganic, you don't have to go into that thought process as yet. Because when you think about health, you make small changes. You don't want to be, see, idealism is stopping a lot of people doing a lot of things. You do it's not about, it's not black and white. There's always a gray area. You can always start making small changes. So if you are having junk, you can stop having junk and start going for thoda sa healthier. So Taco Bell, बाहर से खाने की जगह पे तुम घर पे बनाओ, ठीक है? तुम घर पे बनाने की ट्राई करो and see if you can grab the ingredients. It will be cheaper, right? You can उसके बाद you can try adding some elements to it, like let's say start adding more beans and more veggies. So you are still making a छोटा सा change. Then you उसमें जो तला हुआ part है, you just उसको हटाओ and just have a beanie roll instead. I'm just, it's a slow process.
Right.
It's you don't have to go from point A to point Z.
Yeah. Not that sudden change, क्योंकि वो फिर follow नहीं कर सकते हैं, like you do it a day or two and then you just give up on it because it's too difficult.
Yes. And even if you want to go organic, it should be the last thing, like on your transition part. It's the top. Health wise, there is not a lot of difference between organic and inorganic. There are the other factors which come in. If you want to think more about your environment, there are so many other ways where you can think about your environment, right? Like you can't be eating chicken and meat and beef and everything at the same time thinking that I'm organic meat buy karne jaunga. It's contradicting each other, right? So there are so many other ways you can, like perhaps apne ghar pe dhyan rakho कि you are not keeping your lights on, or tab sahi se band kiya hai, using chota sa magga for pani to take shower so that you are using less water, whatever. It's just, but we get into that ideation of कि मेरे को ideal चीजें करना है. So but to answer your point, healthy food is not, we are not importing it from Mars. It is yahin pe. It's very cheap. It's in fact, you just message me whatever you're consuming at this very moment in your gut, I can just restructure it and make it healthy. You don't even have to freaking go buy broccolis and lettuces and everything. You just eat whatever you're eating. Just restructure it so that it can become healthy.
Wow, that's amazing. Because whenever I get into this diet mode or fitness mode, which I keep getting in portions 10 times a year, so I go and I pick up, like I'll go to the store and I'll buy like a bag full of things, and my mom will be like, what do I do with these things? I don't even know how to make this, so I'll be like, no, but this is the new thing. So, but thank you so much. I think this is so insightful for me and to a lot more people who are like me. I hope you're too many of us, I hope I'm not the only one. As a last question, I want to know that, there's this time where we do a lot of emotional eating, stress eating, and there are disorders where people stop eating as well. So, there are two ways. Sometimes you eat a lot and sometimes you don't eat. Now, how in that moment should I think, yeah, this is not good for me or that is not good for me? Okay, I am going through that emotion, that phase, but how can I be more consciously willing to go for the right choice of food? Is there any secret or a trick that we can apply?
Sure. So there is this really interesting trick. It's silly, but kafi simple, and you can modify it as per your own, right? So whenever we are in an emotional state, your emotional side of your brain is activated. It's fired up. Okay. Logically, you know that piece of brownie is not going to help me. Now you know it more because you know कि serotonin system को जाके affect करेगा. But at that very moment, when you are emotional, your logical brain is taken a backseat. Okay? Now, if there was any way where you can bring your prefrontal cortex, which is your logical brain, you can bring it back, so there are chances that you more decision sahi way mein le sakte. And it has helped with smokers, it has helped with binge eaters. If you want to try that out, okay? Do any logical activity for like 10-15 seconds. Which could be as simple as counting 100 to 1. or
Backwards.
reciting Z to A. Yeah, because your logical brain will come in to write the right sequence. Z, Y, X. You don't even have to be right. You have to just make an attempt to say A to Z reverse. In 15 seconds, your logical brain will be activated. You question yourself, do I really need this? Your answer will be no. And I'm not saying at first instance, may you won't eat a brown. It will fail for like first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts. But if you keep on doing that, on probably 8th or 9th attempt, you'll be like, no, I don't want this. And you will end up eating something else or just drink water. It works. You can do so many different things with it. You can freaking think of a roadmap. कि मेरे को ये सिटी से ये सिटी जाना है तो रास्ते में क्या क्या आता है. Let me just plan that map in my head. Or I don't know. It's your own thing. But bring your logical brain back, and it's very simple and it works. Try that out, Kabir.
Wow, I'm definitely going to try that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I end up consuming a lot of ice cream whenever I'm stressed, or chocolates. Those are my go-to. And I definitely want to work on it. So thank you so much for sharing this. It's not a very silly trick, and I think it is more of a brain exercise as well. So I don't think it's silly.
Yes, it is.
And I'm definitely going to implement it. And I'm sure a lot more people are going to implement it. As a sign off, is there anything that you would like to share? You've shared so much, and I'm so grateful that you've done it. And you've explained, these difficult concepts, you've simplified them. And that's why you are Simply Wellness. That's why you have that name. So thank you so much. As a sign off, is there anything that you would like to say to everybody?
Yes, actually, yeah. So I just wanted to, like, this is the ultimate message I want to deliver to people, that currently we all are so fixated with our body weight. Either we are underweight or overweight, or the way we look, okay, physical appearance. And most of, like, 90+% of my clients are with me because they want to lose weight. Okay? Because society has created the structure, or even the medical field has created the structure of BMI, that your weight has to fit into that within normal BMI. It's an old school thing. If you are someone who is thinking that your weight doesn't fit into that BMI, this is a tip for you. I want you to have a conversation with yourself in the mirror. Just stand in front of the mirror, talk to yourself, look at yourself, ask yourself, are you okay with the way you look? It doesn't matter how your paunch or your hip, your thigh, or whatever looks. You just ask yourself, are you okay with the way you look? The second question should be, can you do your daily chores or daily activities with ease without getting tired and out of breath? Okay. If the answer is yes to both of them, give a big middle finger to everyone else and do whatever you want to do. But if any of the answer is no, then you should start thinking about making a lifestyle change. Okay. Again, if the answer is yes and your lifestyle is messed up, you may start getting effects on the second point. You will start getting difficulties in completing your daily chores. Like you may feel tired, your daily activities will start getting difficult. Okay. So for that very reason, if you want to make a lifestyle change and go on a diet is nothing but doing what you are supposed to do anyway. That's why I use this. If you want to do that, but don't do it just because of because society has structured some weight standards or whatever. It doesn't work that way. It is just going to add another layer of stress in your head, and you are just going about it in the wrong. So don't. So start talking to yourself. That's the ultimate message.
Start talking to yourself. And I think there's so much that we avoid. We're never at peace with ourselves. And I think that's the conversation we have to start, that give time to yourself, talk to yourself. And that's such a beautiful thing, like talk to your body, talking to your body and understanding, what it says, and understanding the signs that your body gives. And I think that's so incredible and so important to do. Thank you so much, Dr. Umesh Wadhavani. Thank you so much for doing this episode. And as I said, that we definitely have to do another episode, another podcast to discuss, something else for sure. And I'm so looking forward to having another conversation with you. And thank you so much for this episode and for sharing your experience and your tips. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If it has inspired you even slightly, then please like, share, and comment. See you on the next one. Until then, remember, our time is limited. Let's make the most of it. Keep watching You Are Human on YouTube and listen to these amazing conversations on Spotify and other audio platforms.